far out there in space. Especially in the Marvel Universe, there's a lot of different species out there. Fang Foom is one of those beings that's from another planet, which is basically the reason why he looks different. He's also one of those species that set out to different planets to conquer different worlds. But it seems the whole conquering planet trope when it comes to Marvel Comics never lasts long, and beings end up evolving and doing different things. Even if they're supposedly the villain, they end up changing and being noble, like even Fang Foom. He's clashed with the heroes many times and even defended the planet as well. I mean, I guess people would be scared by default if somebody looked like this walking around. He's gotten to the point where even if he encounters other dragon-like beings, he doesn't want them to engage in violence like he would, turning over a new leaf, basically. He talking about his early days on how he was raised a certain way for bloodshed and stuff like that, and he wants this infant to be more peace-loving dragon. And believe it or not, Fang Foom has actually made a decent amount of appearances throughout different Marvel media and stuff. He even appeared in Ultimate Alliance and was even in the Guardians of the Galaxy new video game. He's one of those beings that's very strong and pretty straightforward. He has a very intuitive mind. He even studies battlefields, and though he is a beast, his mind is that of the Oriental philosophers, keen and penetrating. So he's not just a mindless beast that you might be thinking. I will admit, it comes in handy being able to shapeshift. I mean, just by default, you know he has to be strong to be able to match his size on certain comic issues. He can project flame like a normal dragon, and technically fly because of his big wings. Yes, he's a dragon that actually can fight martial art. Can talk to you through your head, aka one could say communicate telepathically, to be able to communicate through vast distances. Throughout this video, you're going to see Fang Foom have a lot of different sizes. No, this is not a comic book error because he actually has the ability to change his size. So if you see him looking different in a lot of panels and him looking smaller, him looking super ginormous, that's why. Fang Foom, let's get it. He's pretty high up there on the food chain because look, he's literally eating sharks. Not just fire breath, but laser eyes that can bring life to statues. And if you're stuck in like a frog form or a dog form or a tiger form, mystically or something, or via transmutation, Fang Foom can actually turn you, with his laser vision, turn you back into normal just because he can in their true form. Can shatter mountains. I mean, you already know he's durable when beings like Hulk be hitting him, but he heals after it pretty decently fast, so he can keep on fighting. He can absorb gamma energy, like eating dozens of gamma bombs for freaking lunch, and use these gamma bombs as weapons, like shooting them back out like missiles to cause extra destruction. He's strong enough to do this to Herald of Galactus level beings like Terex, and even punches from Drax he can stand and hits them back afterward. Terex is a being that can give Silver Surfer issues and strength. The same Terex that can chop planets up. Yeah, I meant cleaving planets like this. And split Surfer's board. And has fought Gamora. And Fang Foom did this, letting you know his strength. To show his strength, Iron Man in his new suit have issues holding his mouth open. Can punch through helicarriers or take down a shield helicarrier just like this with one arm. And he's actually got a KO on a Hulk tier. Cho Hulk. Yo. Another good way to understand his strength is other people's opinions about him. Lady Hellbender, for example, says the strongest thing on your planet. Fantastic Car get sent flying with a backhand. Even Hulk's opinion of Fang Foom is impressive because Hulk says finally a challenge? Like, bro, what? That's respect. He's gotten in scuffles with Thor and Iron Man, can straight up destroy cities, punching it up, and he's bigger than skyscrapers here, tearing up towers with his tail. Large rocks he effortlessly destroys. This monster's Jaws, who was giving some Gamma family members some issues, Fang Foom said, let me just take care of it for y'all. Knocks out Wolverine with 2 swings, can hit our favorite heroes so hard they go through walls of buildings. Concrete is butter to his strength. Hits Iron Man this hard to where he goes through buildings just with his strikes. Iron Man even said he could level Seattle. He's given Iron Man some issues quite a bit. I mean, look at his fists going through the side of mountains. And if you can tell by now, Fang Foom seems to be different sizes. In one of his weaker arms, he's just straight up overpowering Iron Man. Can literally just kind of pretty much crush a city just by getting this big on top of it. His size is not the only reason he's strong, because he can tear through and smash mountains with his power, but he can also do it in smaller states, but of course still big. He's actually got in scuffles with frost, giants, and even overpowered a multitude of them. This is not necessarily Fang Foom, but Jormungandr, the planet-sized snake, using his body to show how strong Fang Foom is. So we already know he can tear through pavement, just stomp through a pier, use karate chops on the ground and tree, literally tosses the Great Wall of China like a whip. Like, what the heck? He lifted a section of it like it was nothing. Battleships even get destroyed with his bare hands because he's that mighty. And of course, he can break and bury through rocks like it ain't nothing. Like he can just drill through the ground and dig. Can hit you so hard and hit you to a building to where the building might break, or just take you through the building itself. Anybody that can manhandle Drax, this well is strong as heck. From time to time, he has one-shot at beings that give beings like Drax issues just to show you his might. Like, look at the hard time Drax is having, right? But here comes Foom for the rescue. When you're this strong, obviously he has to be bulletproof and durable as heck and stuff as that such too. I mean, I know comics are weird sometimes. There are characters that are super strong, but they aren't bulletproof. But luckily, Fing Fang Foom is, because I hate inconsistent durability, but Fing Fang definitely can withstand it. I mean, he did withstand getting hit through an actual mountain by Mangog, a guy I have a video about on the channel who's a supremely crazy powerhouse. And here you see him handling the thing. I mean, he can swim for extremely far distances. He's withstood plenty of blasts from Iron Man, repulsors. Even when Iron Man powers up his repulsors to multiply 40 times the normal power, it still has issues like piercing his hide completely, but it does hurt him though, of course. He's always been able to withstand attacks from the upgraded Iron Man suits too. If I can't hurt him with my own attacks, why don't I try to use his attacks, like his own fire breath he absorbed? He returns the raw power of his fire in the form of a pulse bolt. Iron Man used his fire as pulse bolts and it still didn't take him out completely. He can withstand plasma bolts and even gamma rays. They were shocked that it didn't skewer him. This is from a powerhouse tier like Spectrum I have a video about on the channel too, guys. Notice how Fing Fang Foom can withstand blasts from Iron Man, make trenches as big as the Grand Canyon, and Fing Fang Foom can still withstand these kind of blasts. It's durable. Human Torch is a being with some crazy blast power, and he can still withstand this kind of blast. Notice how Fing Fang Foom, even if you miraculously hurt him, he's like really freaking resilient. Like, he literally spat out his own organs and he wasn't dead. Like, yikes. What, is Fing Fang Foom immortal? Because this dude got like splattered and he was able to regenerate from being splattered into a gazillion pieces. Yeah, he's pretty freaking resilient. He's extremely hard to take out for good, because even if you miraculously incinerate him to where he actually does die, for real, to where his spirit actually leaves the world and stuff, what if I told you that's not an end-all be-all? He can even come back from that, possess a statue, hypnotize you, and use you as a vessel to turn you into like a monster-ish type of thing, this big, and fight beings this way in a resurrected state that makes him look a lot stranger than he usually would look. Got 2 arms and 2 legs. He doesn't look as lizardy. But then, if he gets defeated, he summons like a whole bunch of reptiles to come on him like this to pretty much regain his true form. So he basically got self-resurrection. I mean, Wolverine's claws can definitely pierce him, but due to his size, I guess it would technically be a paper cut. It wouldn't really do much damage to him. Cyclops has blasts that can rip apart small planets in half. This kind of adds up with the lore of all the stuff Fing Fang Foom has to fight or compete against, like Gamma family members. He got blasted by these blasts and survived and got back up. I mean, you got to remember, he was in that cataclysmic Heart of the Monster event, got thunderclapped by the Hulk that was in a World Breaker state. Not saying he's on that level with World Breaker or nothing, but it's just like the fact that he was here and then had to withstand stuff like this. The Fantastic Four as a team is really strong in general, and surviving, having to deal with their attacks consecutively like the Thing, Human Torch, Reed Richards with all these super guns and stuff. I mean, he lost here, but yeah, he has to take beatings from powerhouses. And of course, Gamma family members can win against him too, so don't get it twisted. He can take L's, but he's tough. He can withstand atmospheric re-entry, falling from space at ridiculous speed. This isn't really a feat, but yeah, he got slung here all the way to the moon by the Hulk, and he withstood that throw. That's a strong throw. As crazy as it sounds, Fing Fang Foom can fly through space at incredible speeds to where the planets look like a blur they're passing. Like, he's flying interstellar distances. Like, yeah, he's got to be moving faster than the speed of light. He's reacted to Cho being like this to him, and then mid-flight, he hits him. A beam he dodged that was moon-shattering levels of raw power. Usually you would think when somebody's a brute big type character, they would not try to dodge. Fing Fang Foom still dodges certain stuff. They even talk about his speed here. He's fighting an Iron Man whose suit that can react to stuff in a millionth of a second, a microsecond. That shows his speed. I would even say this is an oversimplification, because he's even competed with newer Iron Man suits, and the newer Iron Man suits had issues keeping his mouth from closing. So this is like our bare bones minimum oversimplification. They imply he has fighting speed here on how talk about how he hurls his fist like 100 hurricanes. When stuff is hovering around him, if he can't hit it with his limbs, he can literally react to it by burning them while they're mid-air with his flame. Speaking of his flame, one can say his blast power, he can turn men into ash with his heat. His fire breath is blasted through train. They stated his fire is comparable to a nuclear furnace. You respect Fing Fang Foom yet? It's hard to get a good range of where he's at when it comes to the powerhouses. I would say he's definitely a medium powerhouse tier at the very least, which means he should technically be a planet buster by default. Just from being a powerhouse in Marvel is absurd. Even the weakest powerhouses are planet busters in Marvel. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call him a Hulk equal, but maybe if Hulk was using like 15% of his strength, then Fing Fang Foom would give him issues, something like that, because he has actually got a knockout on a like holding back Hulk, Frank Cho Hulk, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't necessarily say he could fight a bloodlusted normal Savage Hulk. But at the same time, he's not a pushover either. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Maybe I would say he's around the range of raw power of a decently relaxed Great Hulk or something, right? But at the end of the day, all of this could be just me. How strong do you think Fing Fang Foom is? Do you think he should get more showings? I think he has less than 100 comic book appearances. So it's not many feats to pull off from, but I think you get the idea. He's definitely somebody that should be respected, but he's not up there with the mega heavyweights. Maybe in the medium is lower-esque rank. He just doesn't have as many flashy feats or just as many feats in general to really show him off in general. But just because you don't have as many feats as a character doesn't necessarily mean your power level is a certain level. Just like the one above all barely ever appears, and he's stronger than everybody, right? So it doesn't really matter about the appearances, and his lore has made it clear they want him at a certain power level, and he might have some weird moments where other characters give him issues, but I think right intently he's made to be a earth-shaking, continent-shaking type of strong creature. You know what I mean? But before I get going, I gotta say a quick thanks to the donations. Thanks, guys. Helps out a lot. Respect. Fing Fang Foom. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.